Let's have a conversation.
Thank you for having me on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure I'll see you at one of these events again
All
soon.
time, we got Mark with Mindful Reality Podcast, who I've been a guest on, and it was a blast.
Thank you for having me, honestly, and I cannot wait to do it again. We're going to do this again in the future. I just know it.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Tuesday, October 3rd. It's Tuesday, October 3rd. I hope y'all are doing good. Good morning. Good morning, Betty. Good morning, Cass. I wanted to say something before I actually jump in to the Big Brother content. I am getting to the Big Brother content right after. And if you're only here for that, you can skip ahead if you're watching on the replay or hop back on when I'm done. But I wanted to start here. I think that we are on day 62 of the Big Brother season, right? I think we're on like day 62 or something. It's more than 60 days. I covered Big Brother last year. I started covering it about late August. I covered it for about 5 weeks. In the 5 weeks that I covered Big Brother, I went through the gauntlet. When I first started watching Big Brother, I only watched Big Brother. No live feeds. I just watched the show. And I was not on anybody's YouTube. I was not on anybody's podcast. I was not on Twitter. I didn't even have a Twitter. Well, I had a Twitter, but I did not check the Twitter for Big Brother, anything. Never looked at Reddit. Never looked at Discord. Never looked at anything. So people, when I started watching Big Brother podcasts and blogs last year, people talked about this machine that is called the Big Brother community. And I'm like, I don't know what y'all are talking about with this Big Brother community thing, because I'm sitting here saying I've been involved with the challenge community, other reality TV show communities, and I know that generally fans, you know, they get very passionate about the people they support and all that kind of stuff. I learned last year that the Big Brother community is different than other communities. And there's probably a few reasons why. One, Big Brother is the only reality TV show that I know of anyways that has live feeds. Live feeds adds a whole new layer to the connections that people have with the showcast, the triggers that people experience with the discussions that they have, even with the edits, even with the cuts, from getting the "we'll be right back" screen and showing the cats or whatever, we're still seeing several hours of pretty much unfiltered content and conversations between these house guests. So people feel like they are connected. And sometimes people don't even have a separation between show and real life. So my gauntlet experience with Big Brother and real life and the fandom was, as a lot of people know, the first time I actually attended something that had Big Brother house guests in it, because I attended so many challenge events before then. Never had the experience with that, with the challenge. Went to the challenge events, posted my pictures. People said that's cool for the most part. Did my recaps, went home, and went about my business, went about my day. Going in to the first Big Brother event that I ever went to, I wasn't thinking about anything but having a good time and meeting the people, making connections, taking some pictures. That's all I was thinking about. That's all I was thinking about. So after I got back, Tammy knows. Tammy was on there at the time. Tammy was on my other page. So after I got back home, all of the people that were supporting my channel at that time were like, Mark, let us know, how was the event? Who was most surprising to you when you met them? Was there anyone that you talked to a lot? Was there anyone you didn't talk to so much? Were they consistent to what you expected when you watched them on the show? Yada, 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 yada. People were asking me questions. I was answering the questions. My answers to some of those questions, it was just like genuine answers. I'm like, okay, I talked to this one and this one for quite a while. This one I didn't get a chance to talk to. This one was nice. This one, you know, I didn't really speak to or have any kind of interaction with. And then I was like, whoa, all of a sudden, I have so many people on this live. And funny enough, as naive as I was at that time, I thought that all those people were on my live just because, I don't know, they found me somehow. The YouTube algorithm sent them. And I was like, wow, my page is blowing up. What's happening? I didn't know that the reason that they had found me was because somebody had snipped, most likely a very small part of this hour and a half to 2 hour live that I did, posted it on Reddit, and had some kind of narrative behind it. So I'm still thinking that most of the people that watched that video or were on that live are new fans of mine or new subscribers of mine, right? And then I start seeing the things that they're putting in the chat. Good morning, Edward. Then I start seeing the things they're putting in the chat. And then I start seeing the things that they are now putting in. They found my Instagram. I wasn't even posting on my Instagram, and they found my Instagram. Well, the Instagram is the same name as the page, so that's nothing too crazy. But they found my Instagram. They started messaging me on Instagram. They started flooding my comment section. And for about 2 weeks straight, relentlessly, I was logging on to my social media, and it was affecting my mental health. This is why I'm trying to say this. It was affecting my mental health bad, in a bad way. Because I'm like, I'm not here to insult anybody. I'm not here to get on here and if I don't like a house guest, I'm going to dox them or look up their job, contact their former employer, talk to their sister and their mother. I'm just here to really watch the show and watch the live feeds and have my reactions to whatever is going on. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but never personal, because these people are on my television. And unless I personally know them or have some kind of relationship with them myself, I'm not trying to destroy their lives, or I'm not trying to do anything with their day-to-day life because I'm not involved with them. I'm just watching them as a fan of the show. So that was my first experience with the toxicity of the Big Brother community. So that time period had me wanting to quit. I was considering quitting because, remember, I was very new to covering that. That's not what my page was about. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is not for me. And I need to leave. The live blew up. Reddit trolls help the algorithm. That's why we appreciate the haters. Yeah, actually, from the time that happened, I guess they followed me because they don't like me, but I got a large amount of subscribers. I got a large amount of subscribers after that. So they actually did help me get monetized, and they helped my page get all these different viewers that it had and everything. But yeah, there's a point of me saying that. I said, protect your peace. I put in my title a message about protecting your peace. There's a reason why I don't respond to everything that I see, whether it's in the comment section or whether it's things people send me, whether it's things people send me on Instagram. I'm pretty reachable, I would say, compared to the average podcaster. I respond to a lot of things, but I don't respond to everything. And that's because protecting your peace is very important. And this is kind of a message that I want to give to anybody who finds that it's more stressful to be involved with the Big Brother community than it brings them joy. If you find that it's more stressful than enjoyable for you, I got to say something about that. Disconnect. Even if that includes my page. Your mental health should always be a priority. I think that my experience as a peer counselor and my experiences with mental health and the fact that I have so many tools in the toolkit from all the many years that I have participated in therapy and been in like therapy groups, individual and group, and different books that I've read and just different things that I do in my day-to-day, I was able to take all those tools and apply them to the internet. So I'm not affected in the same way as most people would be, because I remember I watched this podcaster who said that when they come online, it's a persona. They were like, I have an online persona, and that everybody has an online persona when they start a page, because you have to be a little bit more entertaining, you have to be a little bit more dramatic, whatever, etc., etc. I'll be honest with y'all, I don't have an internet persona that I have on the internet that I don't have in real life. If you see me on the internet and you meet me in real life, everything is everything. I'm the same person. The only difference between my internet persona, if you could call it that, and my real life persona is basically that I speak a lot more, because I'm not somebody who just walks around and is just speaking to everybody and speaking for 5-6 hours a day if I don't have to be. That's the only difference. I'm not necessarily going to be as talkative. I'm not nearly as talkative in person generally as I am on my page, but obviously I'm speaking for page purposes. But aside from that, anything that I would say on this computer, anything I would get on this computer and say, I would say it in real life. The same way that I would handle an issue with somebody on the internet is the same way that I would handle it in real life. I've had people in real life hate on me for no reason. It's happened before. It's not a million people because I'm not a celebrity, but there's been people that just hate on me for no reason, just because, well, there's plenty of reasons. I'm not going to say no reason, but no good reason. Nothing that I have done to them that should put them in that position. And the way that I deal with that is I focus on the positives. I focus on positive people and I focus on positive energy. So when I created this page, Mindful Reality, I didn't create it to escape from that page. I created it because I wanted a page where I have all of my reality TV content in one spot. It's easier to find me. It's more related to my niche. And also for when I reach out to the TV cast people for interviews and they say, can I see your work or can I see your page? It's easy for them to see my whole page and everything that the page represents instead of having to scroll through a page that has mental health, music, fitness, reality TV, whatever else, comedy, all those different things. But the interesting part is this page, possibly even more than the last page, despite the fact that it doesn't have as many people, the community that I have formed, which is partially some of the people who transferred from the other page and partially new people who found me here, they are attracted to the thing that I put out. And that's the other thing that I was going to say. Be the energy that you want to receive and starve the other energies. There was a point in time, even in terms of my coverage, there was a point in time where other people who cover Big Brother were like, I don't like this guy. And I realized that because they were coming from those other pages and they were all up in my comment section. And again, at one point in time, I was responding to everything. And then I realized the more that I engage in this energy is the more that it shifts my energy from what I'm trying to do. If I log in a headspace of let me fight these trolls versus being in the headspace that you guys see me in, there's no way I can do this. I'm day 62 plus on this thing, 62 plus in a row. Y'all don't see all the behind the scenes. I saw a TV Talks with Tom post about needing a mental health break. I don't know if he's back on now, but I saw that post, I don't know, a few days ago. I get it. I understand that. And I'm not saying that I'll never need one, but I'm just saying my mental health is a priority to me. So because of that, I'm very careful about what and who I engage with and how much I indulge in certain things. For instance, even though I talk to you guys about, I saw this on Twitter or Reddit or whatever, I'm not tuned into Twitter and Reddit in a sense of I just go through all these different threads. Twitter, I follow about 4 Big Brother pages, and they are just recaps, and I don't even look at the comments. I just look at the little snippet videos they have and the quotes about what's happening. Reddit, well, Reddit, I don't even really, I stopped going on the Big Brother Reddit because it's just stupid to me. I don't like it, and I don't like the page owners, and I don't care if they know that. Twitter and Facebook. Facebook is the one that I kind of indulge in a little bit. Not too much, but a little bit. I'm in a few Big Brother Facebook groups. But I might spend 30 minutes a day on all of those things combined. And if it gets too much for me, because there was maybe 1 or 2 days this year where it was a lot for me what was going on, I'll turn off the computer. I'll tap out. Show is show and life is life. I already sacrificed myself enough to cover the show this much, but the one thing that I won't sacrifice is my peace. And that's the end of that rant. 22 minutes. Now I'm going to jump into the show stuff. So what I was looking at for the show is that Jag and Matt have officially, I think they have officially joined into an alliance, which I think is funny, with Corey and America. So now they're in this alliance with Corey and America. They are in this alliance with Cam. So that the fugitives, I think they call themselves the Rats or something. Good morning, Melody, and good morning anyone who joined while I was talking about that stuff. And then they have an alliance. I don't know if they have an actual formed alliance, but they're kind of aligned with Blue. They're aligned with Bowie. They're basically aligned with almost everyone in the house in some capacity. And Matt specifically, Matt is actually basically tied to everybody remaining in the house with the exception of Mimi. I don't think that Matt has a specific relationship with Mimi, but I think everybody else in there, Matt has some form of a relationship or partnership with them. So they are riding this fence, and Jag, this is their strategy because Jag actually was able to convince Cam not to use the power of veto. And this was with an assurance that if Corey wins the HOH next week, Corey is not going to use the HOH. Corey is not going to use his HOH to put Cam on the block. But I think that no matter what, even though Corey did give Jag some assurances that he wouldn't do that, Corey is no fool either. Corey knows that Cam would be hard to beat. And now he knows that Cam is willing to take a shot at him. I'm pretty sure. So I don't think that Corey would put him up on the block as a nominee, but I think that he would definitely consider him on the back door. For sure. Good morning, Mark and chat. Good morning, Miss Indes. I was watching the live feeds yesterday, and they're starting. Yeah, they were targeting Blue. They were talking about Blue a lot. I wouldn't even say that they're really aligned with her, to be honest, because every talk, I mean, she might think she's aligned with them. But every talk that Jag has been having with these various people about next week, many of those talks include Blue being the target and Blue being on the block, and he seems to be okay with that. And what's really shocking to me about Jag, I guess I kind of understand him latching himself on to Cameron. I understand that one because I think that they're like, Cameron's a power player and a shield that we can just hide behind. So I fully understand that. But him trusting Corey and America more than Blue, that's the part that I don't get. That he would rather have Corey and America in the game together versus having Blue there. I just don't think that Jag is that smart of a game player. I really don't. He spent the first several days in the house behind the 8 ball. He never knew what was going on. He never had any influence in the voting. He got voted out of the house unanimously. Now he feels good because he's not on the block, because he hasn't been the main target for the last 2 weeks. So he just wants to lay in the cut, be cool with everybody. Matt and Mimi have an agreement not to put each other up until necessary. Yeah, so Matt basically has an agreement with everybody then, because that was the only person I could think of that Matt doesn't have something going with. I didn't either, so why in the world would Cam take advice from Jag? I have no clue. I have no clue. I'm thinking to myself, is this a case where Cameron just hasn't had anybody in the game in so long that he's not thinking properly? Because Cameron was making some excellent points on Sunday to do such an about face on Monday. He was making excellent points. Everything that he was saying was making sense to me. Thank you, Edward. For starters, I hope they air the Felicia fight after the veto ceremony. And second, what's your thoughts on that? Oh, that's the other thing I was going to mention. Felicia said that there's going to be a part 2 of that fight today. Felicia was like, I'm going to air out America. And she was talking about it on the feeds yesterday night to Sari and Mimi. And she was telling Sari and Mimi that she had all those things to say to Corey, and then America jumped in to protect her man. And now America is going to catch the stray bullets. And she said that she's going to expose her game and expose Corey's game. I'm very interested to see this blow up that they had. And I hope it's not like how they showed the Sari and Felicia fight, where they only showed a couple of minutes in the episode and then they just jumped right off of that. I hope they show a good chunk of that. I hope they show a good chunk of that. I'm going to close with, I guess, some general thoughts about the Big Brother 25 season. Because a lot of you, this is based on what a lot of you are telling me in the comment sections, those of you who reach out to me. A lot of you are like, I'm checked out of the Big Brother 25 season. I get it. I am not going to check out of the Big Brother season because obviously I'm covering the Big Brother season. But as a fan, this has been kind of an interesting one where we jump in Let me see these two comments really quick. I know this is an unpopular opinion, but I believe Felicia was right on America being carried into the game because of Corey. America being carried into the game because of Corey. I'm thinking about it. I think that they both needed each other for different reasons, to be honest with you. I think that Corey has a very robotic and analytical view of everything that's going on in the house. He does not have a social game at all. Corey's social game, if we were doing ratings like how he does ratings, his knowledge of the game is a 9, and his social ability in the game is like a 3. So what was good for him was the fact that he would bring all the analytics to America. Well, here's the thing, America. He would go through all the different scenarios. If we do this, then this happens. If we do this, then this happens. If we do this, then this happens. This is what he's doing this whole game. Well, let's say hypothetically, if this person wins HOH, their main targets would probably be this one and this one. This person would be number 1 on the list, and then this person would be number 3 on the list because he has no reason to target that person. But then if this person wins, Rock'em Sock'em robot of analytics and stats, and he'll bring that to America, and America's like, she'll listen, and she's like, all right, Jared's got to go. How can we make this happen? I'm going to go have this conversation with this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. He's like, well, hold on, America. Well, hold on, America. We don't want to ruffle any feathers. Now, imagine if it was just Corey in there by himself with no America. Corey, those of you who watch Survivor will get this reference. Corey would be the guy who leaves with the idol in his pocket. That would be Corey. If Corey was on this show without America to be bold and make moves and have hard conversations, he would be sitting there with all the data. I know how the game is going. I know what moves need to be made. I know who's in power. I have all the intel, but I'm scared to make any moves. So I think that America assisted him with that. Similarly to the way that everyone says that Izzy played such a terrible game. I'm not going to say that Izzy played a perfect game. Obviously, Izzy made plenty of mistakes in the game. But Cirie would lay back and sit back and have these conversations with Izzy. I'm noticing that America and Corey are talking about. Go check that out for me. Izzy would jump right up and run over to America and Corey and take back whatever she heard or learned from that, run it back to Cirie, and Cirie now had that information in her pocket. So I think that America, I won't even say that America rode Corey to get to where she is. And I mean that figuratively, not literally. Just to be clear, I mean that figuratively. Because if you think about it, Corey has 1 HOH win in this whole game. So it's not like he was winning and carrying. Nobody, I can't say that anybody who was there so far, yeah, I can't really say that anyone has been carried. There has been like duos that have helped each other. And then there's been floaters that people just haven't gone after because, I don't know, they just aren't scared of them, like Bowie and possibly Mimi. This is all Luke's fault for messing up the amount of people they need there. If Luke hadn't messed that up, we wouldn't have Jag. And I'm not saying that in a sense of, I'm saying that like Jag got lucky, basically. The Corey impression. Yeah, so back to my overall thoughts about the season. I felt like it had really good potential. The game started off way faster than usual. People were playing really hard. But then when I think back to all the people that they got rid of, Kirsten, Riley, Heizam, Izzy, Jared. This season was kind of the opposite of a normal season. Let's get out to the people who play the game. And let's keep the people who don't play the game. And that's how we got to where we are now. Everybody's goal in the first several weeks was to get out who they feel most threatened by. Red, I forgot to mention Red. Everyone's goal in the first few weeks was to get out who they feel threatened by. Most threatened by. And groupthink dominated the house because everybody said, I'm going to do what's in the best interest of the house. I'm going to do what's in the best interest of the house. And I'm like, when did this become House Brother? When did this become a game of doing what's in the best interest of the house? We can say maybe lazy casting is a part of it. Some people have said the writer's strike. I don't know. Could be a combination of those things. And some of it also falls on the players. I don't know if I've ever heard vote with the house more than I've heard it this season. I was actually watching this conversation with Jag and Felicia, where Felicia was asking Jag, which way are you going to vote? And Jag was like, oh, it kind of depends. I can't really say that I know just yet. Conversations to be had. Yeah, I'm just gonna really see where things stand with the house. And I knew Felicia was like, okay, that means that I'm probably on your radar. Jag never answers a question directly. Casting is terrible. Way too many recruits. That's what I was saying yesterday. That has been the most disappointing part of the game, laziness. Whoever started this vote with the house needs to take accountability. You know, Charmed Life the other day said that Heisem basically started that. And I do remember him saying things like that. And also the parts about integrity, playing the game the right way, this and that. I'm like, what's the right way, though? This is not a sports competition. In a sports competition, there's rules. If you're in a boxing match, it's like, don't hit below the belt. No punching your opponent in the back of the head. You know, there's actual rules. This has like code of conduct rules, general ones, but in terms of what you have to do to win the game, there is no rules. That's the other thing that has annoyed me about this season. The players that are so self-righteous about how they have played this game. Well, I may be doing this, but this person is doing that. Well, I'm doing this, but this person is doing that. So self-righteous. What I'm going to miss about Felicia is that she can read people better than certain players in the house. Yeah, that's the thing. She can read people well, but she just can't win competitions. At least you can say that she has more HOHs than half the house with one. But
Imagine if they voted with the House in 24 as much as they do here. Well, if they voted with the House, Taylor would have been out first. I don't even want to speculate on who would be out and what order, but yeah, the show would have gone very different if they voted with the House. I'll leave it at that. No, Marquise of Queensberry rules in Big Brother. I'm hoping to God Mimi wins Thursday. Me too. I need an underdog with power and make a big move. I know. It's so crazy that we didn't realize that Matt almost won HOH. I would have loved to see Matt win that HOH and see what he would have done with it, because I'm getting tired of the floating. And it would be one thing if it was just one floater or two, because then I'm like, oh, the floaters are playing a good game. But the reason the floaters can survive in BB25 is because the alliances are not loyal to each other. So the lack of loyalty keeps those floaters floating. You know what I'm saying? I just realized I've gone 42 minutes without dropping a Mimi.
It's like, this is all way too much. It's so stupid.
Morning, Mark. I'm late. Good morning. The twist really messed up the game. Jared, Jag, and Cam would be gone. Well, they would have had I think the battle back was actually planned. I think the power of invincibility was made up, but I think the battle back was part of the plan. Oh, yeah. This year, BB25 is the year of the floaters. And by the way, y'all, I saw something that said, because of the fact that Cerie's not on the block this week, next week going into HOH, or next week going into eviction night, will be 72 days in the house for her. So they're just not paying attention to Cirie anymore when she was at the top of everybody's radar. So don't underestimate her float game. These house guests came in playing so hard as if it was the end of the game, and are loyal to no one, I'm sure. Now it's a mess. It is. And you know what broke it open, Sheena? I'll tell you what broke this whole thing open to be the way that it is right now. It was that Corey and Jared argument, where Corey was like, let me list out all the different alliances in the house, and I want everybody to hear this. There's For Real, there's the Professors, there's the Legend 25, there's this, there's that, there's this, there's that, and there's this, and there's that, and there's this, and there's that. That drew the clearest of lines in the sand. That's why nobody can tell me that Corey is a masterful Big Brother player, because you won the debate with Jared. But your only thing that you won from that debate with Jared was Jared being out of the house. It's like a chess game. Oh, I took out your knight. Okay, that's cool, but what are the next 5 moves after you take that knight out? Perhaps putting that whatever piece that you use to take out that knight, perhaps the piece that you have there is now in a bad position, and the other person has planned a few moves ahead. Not necessarily in this house, because I was about to say 5 moves ahead, but nobody in this house. The direction of the house highly depends on the HOH. People who play a good Big Brother game are able to control the house with or without being in power. because your influence is just as important as your competition wins. Nobody in this house has that kind of power right now, because everybody has been playing a scared game and nobody has been playing a loyal game. Nobody. The only person out of anybody in that house who I have to say is playing a loyal game is Mimi. And that's because she's loyal to herself. She's like, I'm my number one. I am my number one.
You mad? Why you worried about how I do what I do?
If Jag and Corey keep making annoying decisions and somehow Bowie wins the season, I wouldn't even be mad. Me neither. I'm over it. I want a floater to win. I want a floater to win. I want a floater to win. Cameron should have targeted her, but Jared promised him. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I actually do think that Cameron did not target Cirie this week due to Jared's agreement with him. Corey was in most of the alliances, he said, and that's the part that killed me about that argument. That's why I was talking about being self-righteous like that. The argument which Cam takes credit for, then he blew up Cirie and Felicia. Well, I would say in terms of the most impactful moves made this season, I would actually say that the biggest move of the season was getting out Izzy. And I give most of the credit to Cam for that and some of the credit to America. I give Corey none of the credit, even though, interestingly enough, when Corey spoke to Cam yesterday, Corey was trying to give himself the credit for getting Izzy out. When out of the hierarchy of who I would give credit to, Cam and America, and he played a small part in that. Because if we were just going off of what Corey was going to do, Felicia would have been out. But honestly, they ain't even targeting the threats, so they don't know what they're doing either. They're just there. They're just there just to be there. That's why a lot of us are losing love for the game. Is Matt a floater? I guess he's a floater, but he's an aggressive floater. He's doggy paddling. Cam is misguided to bother about Jared's. Anyways, y'all, thank you for hopping on. Whether you hopped on after I gave my message at the beginning, or if you've been here the whole time, or if you got here at the end, I appreciate you no matter what. And I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm going to be back today. I'll try to be. I'll see if I can be. And hope to talk to you all soon.
So you literally were one of my very first followers. And then when you followed me and I, followed back, I was like, this dude is cool. Like,
if they say talk to your manager, you just say, you know what, talk to the hand. You don't need to be on my podcast. But, yeah, dude. Yeah, you do a great job.
Thank you. I always get a kick out of talking with you on Patreon. You have a really good, view on it.
That wasn't planned.
You know what? I like this Canadian.
Well,
this one.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, guess what? If I win, somebody ain't Diddy bopping. Right. Okay. I can tell you that.